A warm welcome to another episode of the program, Service to Humanity. My name is Dihelia Mamza, standing in for your regular anchor. The program this evening will look at one of the components of the National Social Investment Program, the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program. In August 2021, GEEP 2.0 was launched, restructuring the program and bringing it in line with the drive of the government's aim of lifting Nigerians out of poverty. What makes this version of GEEP different from the earlier version? What is the current state of implementation? These and other questions were answered in our chat with the team lead of the GEEP 2.0 program. We will also bring you a review of some of the activities that have taken place since the flag of the GEEP 2.0. Do stay tuned for our package after this timeout.
To da farko dai alhamdulillah ana yi dai amma kaɗan ba sosai ba. To da Allah ya sa ya kawo wannan tallafi na wannan gwamnati to sai abin ya daɗa haɓaka ya min tasiri tunda sana'ata ta ƙaru kuma sannan ɗan wasu hidindimu na yara dai duk kana samu kai da shi a ciki. Wasu suna yi ba su da ƙarfi a dalilin shi ya ƙaru, wani kuma bai da shin a dalilin haka ya tashi. Kuma na godiya sosai da wannan taimako da suka mana, taimakon Allah da nasu mafi akasari.
Service to Humanity kicks off with news from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs as well as agencies under the ministry. Do stay tuned for details coming up shortly.
The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Dr. Nasir Sani Gwarzo, has said that the ministry's partnership with the World Food Programme has achieved immense results in the humanitarian space. He said this during a joint press briefing between the ministry and the World Food Programme in Abuja recently, where the successes of the collaboration were highlighted. The meeting was also to chart a course that will continue to strengthen the provision of enabling environment in humanitarian aid delivery. Gwarzo noted that the collaboration has led to the joint development of the WFP Country Strategic Plan CPS 2024 to 2028, a 5-year plan which made provision for WFP to extend its areas of assistance to the northwest and refugee camps in Nigeria instead of the northeast previously covered. Gwarzo said leveraging on the partnership that has existed, the ministry graciously selected WFP to implement the Stabilization Fund for victims of humanitarian crisis in the northeast and western Nigeria, which was part of the two projects ECOWAS Commission initiated, noting that the intervention has touched and is still touching the lives of vulnerable population in Nigeria. Representative and Country Director, World Food Programme, David Stevenson, on his part, said the UN World Food Programme has been working in Nigeria with the government, partners and other stakeholders to deliver on its mandate of zero hunger. He also noted that the WFP Executive Board has approved a new country strategic plan for Nigeria. The CSP defines WFP's entire portfolio of assistance within the country for 2023 to 2027 and is valued at $2.56 billion and is designed to support Nigeria in achieving food security and improved nutrition by 2030 in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons has joined the call for renewed efforts to support and include refugees in society. Federal Commissioner, NCFRMI, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, made this call during her speech to mark the World Refugee Day, set aside to celebrate the resilience and strength of refugees worldwide. Iman Suleiman Ibrahim highlighted the challenges faced by refugees forced to leave their homes due to circumstances beyond their control, and emphasized that they are valuable members of the global community, deserving of support and inclusion. The Federal Commissioner also stressed the collective responsibility of all stakeholders to unlock the full potential of refugees and empower them to rebuild their lives. She also emphasized the need to remove barriers and open doors for their integration and inclusion, transforming the refugee experience into one of hope and resilience. Iman announced that Nigeria has commenced the process of reviewing the national migration policy with a specific focus on the inclusion of refugees.
I tell you, anytime we're not producing, the fish farmers suffer. The people we engage suffer. The people we feed, that we give our fish heads to, they feel it. I'll only beg the government to continue with this and make it run more.
We used to have children crying, parents will be chasing them to come to school, and they'll be at the gate, they'll be crying, they will hold on to their parents, they will not want to come into the gate.
When they are not giving the food, the attendance was very low.
Now the children are always fit and healthy because of the food they eat.
You make them attend class every day.
I eat rice, meat, and carrots.
I want to use this opportunity to thank the federal government for the feeding program.
The program is Service to Humanity. GEEP 2.0 had an objective of lifting Nigerians out of poverty through the provision of non-interest loans. It has a structure that is different from the first phase, and steps have been taken to institutionalize the program as well as protect the loans from being abused. Our chat with Zainab Musawa, the GEEP 2.0 team lead, revealed more about the program.
The Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP, is one of the programs of the National Social Investment Programs under the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. This program is different from other intervention programs because it caters for small and medium enterprises as well as the poor and vulnerable who have empowered themselves with entrepreneurial skills in different fields.
So the GEEP program is special because it's a program that intends to empower people with skill, with any kind of entrepreneurial skills. So that is why the GEEP program was designed. It's a loan-based program, and it targets the people that have skill, who are youth, women, vulnerable women in our societies, and rural farmers.
After the first phase of the program, which was being managed by the Bank of Industry, was completed, the program was transferred to the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development in 2019, where the program was redesigned to improve the loans it provides, as well as restructure the conditions for accessing the soft loan.
We redesigned it to empower, give access to finance to vulnerable groups, financial inclusion, and poverty alleviation, which is the basis of why the social investment programs was built. We looked at the poverty index and we saw that a lot of people within the poverty circle were youth, women, and even farmers in our rural setups. So we redesigned the trader money loan. We restructured it from 10,000 naira. We restructured it, we increased the amount to 50,000 naira. And we also refocused the beneficiary to be youth. And the market money, we also redesigned it and we restructured to empower the vulnerable woman. Who is a vulnerable woman in our society? That's a female-headed household. Women that are widows, women that are divorced, women that are heads of their families. And this was the target for the GEEP 2.0. Also, for the farmer money, it was initially given to farmers in clusters, in groups, in cooperatives. But we designed it to empower farmers who are identified as rural farmers, who depend on their farming as a means of survival. These are farmers who all they know, all they breathe, all they do in their lives is they farm. They sell some of it and they keep some and they feed from it. So these are farmers that we identified that need this kind of empowerment from federal government, and we decided to empower the rural farmer.
After the take-up of new GEEP 2.0, the ministry saw the need to institutionalize the GEEP program. These included providing desk officers across all levels of government to ensure the smooth running of the GEEP program.
Another important thing we did for GEEP 2.0 was to institutionalize the program. We created a federal desk office, a state desk office, and a local government desk office. So we institutionalized it where civil servants at every level of government will be manning the office, the data, the management and implementation of the GEEP program. At the federal level, we have the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, and then you find the NSIP, Social Investment Programs. And then at the state level, we have what we call the focal persons, who are representatives of the governors of that, say, a politically appointed seat, and they supervise the social investment programs. Now, another thing we did is we requested for an appointment of a civil servant who is called the GEEP desk officer. These are level 13 officers and above. So we have the civil servant who is in charge of the data, program implementation, and day-to-day running of the program in the state. Another thing we also did was, as restructure, was to create a desk office where in every local government of the federation you find a GEEP desk officer, and we call them they are the COMOs, the Community Orientation and Mobilization Officers of the National Orientation Agencies. These are people that are trained. They are registering beneficiaries at local government levels.
Institutionalizing the GEEP program also entailed digitizing it to have it operate in an automatic manner. This was necessary to help in curtailing mismanagement of the program.
We have built a program where every aspect of the program is digitized. The program is set to be on an autopilot mode where it can run itself. That's one of the things that one of the giant strides we've been able to give tablets to create APIs with the financial institution, with the field agents, with the consultants. So everything is being displayed on a dashboard we call the GEEP 2.0 dashboard that we have. So in terms of efficiency, the data is there. We're trying to get as much data as we can because the data would speak for the program, and the need of the data would also be able to speak to the continuation of this program. If you have a data of 3 million or 4 million beneficiaries who are in their need of an empowerment from government, I don't think government would tend to put a close ear to such needs of people.
New modalities for loan recovery were also deployed to ensure that these loans are repaid by the beneficiaries.
With regards to loan recovery, we have, as part of redesigning the GEEP 2.0, we needed to ensure that insurance, every GEEP beneficiary was covered with an insurance coverage, somewhat a specific group life insurance or some kind of insurance that would give security to that loan. That is one. Insurance is based on a percentage. So the insurance, if for instance a trader money beneficiary is given 50,000 naira, so 1.7% of that 50,000 naira would be insurance charge. So the beneficiary is liable for that insurance coverage because a loan that is given to you that is collateral free, that is interest free, and then the bank is taking to you, we registered you at your local community.
The GEEP 2.0 also has the greater stakeholder involvement in the administration of the program. Government agencies, financial institutions, ministries, and even international organizations became major stakeholders in the implementation and administration of the program.
Federal government program, which is national, is a program that cannot take off on its own. It's a program that we looked at federal agencies that had a top-bottom representation at all levels of government. And we saw that a couple of federal agencies did have that structure. So we decided to leverage on such agencies. And one of these agencies is the National Orientation Agency. And since inception of the NSIP, the social investment program had been partnering with NOA to implement the NSIP programs.
The GEEP program, since its restructuring in 2019, has evolved into a program that is touching the lives of small business owners in Nigeria. This program is not only available to individuals but extends to groups and clusters who operate or run a similar business. Over 200,000 business owners across all 36 states and the FCT have so far received this loan, not only to improve their businesses but also their lives.
tó dáa gan náà àti ẹ̀rírú ẹ̀rí ńgbà tí mo ti gbọ́n jù tí mo ti dàgbà báyìí. In fact owó yẹn owó tó dáa gan nítorí bí mo ṣe gbà báyìí inú mi dùn gan ni. Tuntun wá jẹ́jọ́ tà ń lọ́jà àmú sáré kó lọ́jà mo lọ fara àwọn kan tí ò sínú ṣọ́ọ̀bù torí ṣe là ń mánéjì tẹ́lẹ̀. Mo wá gbowó yẹn mo sáré lọ ra àwọn ọjà pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́ tí ó sì Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ ṣe yàrá. Ó ṣàǹfààní fún mi o torí pọ́kọ mi ti kú tipẹ́tipẹ́ mi nù lọ́ dùkátà àwọn ọmọ tọ́lọ̀ ń fún mi. So manage mo ye gbowó yẹn ṣe mo táwọn firajà sórí gbanisi àtúnjèrè lórí ẹ̀ àwọn ọmọ yẹn náà àtúnjẹun èmi náà àtúnjẹ.
You're watching Service to Humanity, a sponsored program of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. GEEP 2.0 is our focus, and like I promised earlier, we shall take you through some activities since the program was flagged off in August 2021.
Na samu labari ne ana raba form na GEEP a cikin secretariat. Sai ne kokari na je na samu nawa na ciki. Bayan 'yan kwanaki sai a kira ni na zo aka yi min hoto. Bayan nan sai a ƙara kira na dawo na karɓi ATM. Daga nan sai na je banki na cire kuɗi na. Shine na zo na ƙara bunƙasa sana'ata ta kiwon kaji. Insha Allah.
Allah ya taimake na samu wannan market money muka samu. Muna godiya tsakaninmu da gwamnati. Allah ya sa a gama lafiya. Na ji daɗi, na sai akuya, na yi sauran raguwa, na juya, ina yin tuyan awara da shi ne. To abinda za mu ce sai dai mu godiya Allah ya kawo dubinsu.
Da yanzu ina kasuwanci da ba abin da nake sayawa amma yanzu ina kasuwanci.
Those were some beneficiaries of GEEP 2.0 loans in Kano, explaining how their businesses have benefited from the government empowerment initiative. GEEP 2.0 was formally launched in an elaborate ceremony in Abuja on Tuesday, 24th August 2021, marking the first phase of the rebranded Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program.
It's important that you get everybody to agree.
Implementation was structured into 6 phases, which started with the training of stakeholders to ensure the program runs seamlessly this time around. The next phase was the registration at local government areas, where interested persons indicated whether they wanted market money, trader money, or farmer money. A total of about 1.1 million people were registered across the country.
For our partners in the ministry,
following this first round of registrations, a review of the progress made held between the National Orientation Agency as implementing partners and the GEEP 2.0 team.
there is an improvement. The National Social Register has evolved. It has now increased. The poor and vulnerable households that have been identified, more have been brought into the payment role.
For the GEEP, those who collected the interest-free loan have also repaid back. The well-being of the beneficiaries has been tremendously enhanced. They can send their children to school, so the impact is indeed a very, very visible impact that we can record.
Honestly, the social investment program is well implemented in Niger State because we have actually impacted on the lives of the poor and the vulnerable in Niger State.
A nationwide enumeration of those who registered followed. All of these was done to ensure that checks and balances were in place. The enumerators also carried out a biodata registration, which further brought the number of persons down to about 200,000 across the country. Following this last check, the disbursement of GEEP loans commenced across the country. This was in September 2022. Beneficiaries were very optimistic about the impact of the loan on their various businesses.
I will use it to farm. This time is one of the farming season, so I will use the money to farm during this particular farming season. What they've done for us is good. If they can see it to the end, it's good.
I want to use it for business because I am a businesswoman, a fashion designer, and tailoring materials.
I use it for my business. I do Kampala and I do sell it, so it will increase my products.
Following the disbursement of the loans, a team from the Monitoring and Evaluation Unit also went out to verify that beneficiaries were not shortchanged by any bank agents and to correct other anomalies. With the first phase of the loans running, another batch of beneficiaries are currently being registered across the country.
Currently, in 2023, we are at stage 2, so we're still registering beneficiaries to enable us have a large number of beneficiaries who are interested, because federal government has provided enough budgetary allocation for the GEEP program to be able to empower these vulnerable groups. So we're currently registering, and the registration is ongoing as I speak to you in every local government in the country.
The Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program GEEP has indeed touched lives, especially for the vulnerable in Nigeria. We hope for more intervention programs like this to help lessen the plight of poor Nigerians, particularly those striving to make genuine livelihoods. With this, we bring this episode of the program to an end. Thank you for staying with us through the episode. Do not forget to make it a date with us again next week, same time, same station, for another edition of the program. Also, kindly follow our social media handles for more inquiries and information about us. Good night.